Good morning, everyone. Thank you. My name is 𝗲𝗲𝗰𝗵 on behalf of UBS Forum and our partners, Akrivia, SCM, Xoxoday, WeCP, and 𝗕𝗲𝗃𝗃 and 𝗥𝗲. I welcome you all for our HR Tech Summit and Awards. First, I'd like to thank all of you for sparing your time and joining us this early morning. I know you people are quite senior and you have a lot of responsibility for your organization. And from bottom of our heart, we thank you for your precious time. Now, making you aware about this conference, I'll just set the context and then we will move ahead with the conference. As you all know, in the past few years, HR function has gone through various challenges in the advancement of technology. To survive these changes, organizations need to revamp themselves by changing their strategies, process that elevate the employee experience as well as enhance the performance, leading to the successful achievement of organization goal and business objectives. CHROs play a key role in paving the way of organization growth as well as by upgrading themselves. The HR leaders need to prepare the organization and the workforce to be future ready to deal with challenges posed by robotized world. But today, HR is moving from people science to data science. About people, it's important shift for business in HR. Today, we will discuss how tech-savvy HR leaders and their fellow colleagues lead the way as digital transformation precipitate a quantum leap and how HR can interact with their people throughout talent life cycle. And to set the tone, let me invite our first keynote speaker for the day, Pawan Bhageria, who is the President Global HR with Tata Technologies. To give you a background, he's a thought leader focused on automation industry, manufacturing industry to drive strategic business benefit through digital transformation. Talent management, engineering and technology education transformation leader to align with industry needs. He's been a speaker at NASSCOM, CII and other institutions. He's also a board member and strategic advisor to board member. Pawan brings more than 38 years of experience in automotive, manufacturing and IT industry, where he has led business transformation program, HR transformations programs, new plant launches, business development, and sales in engineering and IT. Before joining Tata Technologies, Pawan served as an IT director at General Motors International Operation, where he was responsible for IT strategies. So it's a perfect blend of HR with the technology. Business transformation program and IT for new plant launches in Asia Pacific region as well at Tata Technologies. As a part of executive leadership team, he is leading a strategic business transformation and relationship and services. Can we welcome Pawan with big round of applause, please?
Thank you, Sandeep, Ananya, and UBS Forum for inviting me here amongst you and share some thoughts about the changing world. And in next maybe 20 minutes, I'll share my thoughts. And I will start with a thought because the subject of this conference is technology in HR. And the way I would like to kind of position technology in HR is the job of HR is very different. Job of HR is building leadership, building culture in the organization, understanding the business context, and then supporting business leaders to align HR strategies to ensure that business is successful. And that is not going to change for next time I can think of. What will change is the time spent by HR in doing these things much more better and efficient. So let me give you an example of what I mean is, today when we talk about our HR teams, they are all the time working on finding the data, they are working on taking up the problems of the people, then going ahead and finding out in the system where the data is, then going and answering back and all that. If you really look at the time spent in these kind of actions, that's about 80%, which is not HR. HR is about talking to the people. HR is about building culture in the organization. HR is about understanding the business context and changes which come or which are coming. And so what will happen is technology will play a major role in enabling HR to pass the routine jobs to technology in a big way. So today if I am spending 80% of the time in doing that, maybe tomorrow I'll do 20% of my time in doing routine jobs. Like people talk about bots are coming, this is coming, that is coming. They are going to take away some of the mundane tasks which HR VPs do day in and day out and feel frustrated about, because the whole day has gone in finding out one data point while 20 people were waiting to talk to them and give their inputs and all that. So I think we need to keep that context in mind, that job of HR is not going to change, but technology is going to make it very different, where we as HR will be able to do what the organization needs. The other thing which I want to share with you is that when we started, like I started in Tata Motor as a graduate engineer, at that time everything was fixed. Tata will produce truck, the specs are known, people will go in, they will be all permanent employees, the organization has full control over them, and then life will go, there is fixed thing. After 3 years I'll get my first promotion, then I'll get my second promotion, then I'll get, after that it will start to become a little more difficult, right? And for HR, so long they came in and understood that I'm dealing with people and these are the 5, 6, 7 things which they needed to talk about and manage, it was okay. For a HR person, they could move from one industry to another industry without much problem, because people are same and people problem are same. Today what is happening is, all of you know, I'm not going to talk anything new, because we know with technology things have changed. Industrial Revolution 1 was about steam and power and doing some small machines coming in and doing production. 2 was about mass production. 3 was about getting these flexible manufacturing systems, CNC machines, and those kind of shells which could do some production. But the core of manufacturing and core of things didn't change. They become more and more efficient. That's what happened. But when we talk about Industrial Revolution 4, things are changing dramatically. Some of the example in our life every day, did we think that on a mobile phone I'll be able to get car at my doorstep and go anywhere I want to go, right? Can we think of that today, up to I think about a year back, it was like you ordered today, in 3 days time you'll get stuff. Now with Zepto or BB Daily or BB Now, those guys are saying that, okay, you forgot something is not there, you use your fingertips and then in 20 minutes you got stuff at your doorstep. Now these things point to a, I'll say, tectonic shift or disruption in the way businesses happen, and we don't even know from which side of the world we will get hit and will become obsolete. And as a result of that, one of the major change which we as HR need to think, and by the way, I am through and through my life manufacturing, automotive and design and IT guy. I took up HR in Tata Technology about a year back, and I'm trying to transform it to align it to the business requirement. So that's my background. So you all are specialists, and I learn each day from my team, which is supporting me out there. So the point I'm making is that it's a big change, and HR leaders need to think about that change from a business context. If we lose the business context, we will not be able to support the teams, right? Now, maybe we can do some slide work. Okay, you all may have found or got tired of talking about pandemic, and I still come and start with pandemic, right? Why? Because, pandemic was one of the terrible but most unprecedented change which came in our life. Everybody got impacted. Organizations got impacted, people got impacted, and life was never same again. It's limping back to normal, But can you get 100% of your people back to office? People don't want to come, right? Things have changed. And why I talk about this, that, details on the slide is different, but most important thing is that during this time in India, the economy grew. We did well. Indian economy is today a shining star in the world. How did that happen? It happened because we adopted. We showed tremendous resilience, which is the rock, you can say, bedrock of managing difficult situations. We innovated solution in every area. The problem which we never looked at, that taking care of our employees when they are in home, whether they are okay, not okay. Somebody who was working in Pune is now in Kolhapur and his family is suffering. He is suffering and we are trying to take care of them. So that was the first priority where we did a lot of innovative things, right? Then we started to look back that business has to run. And so the jobs which we never thought could be done from home, they started to move home. And I am from service industry, never thought an engineering design of a full vehicle program, which Tata Technology does, can be done with teams sitting in 7 countries in their respective houses and still meeting the requirement of the customer. We grew 47% last year from the little lower base, but we grew. So what I'm trying to say is that we found out ways and methods. And the summary of that is that gives all of us confidence that whatever change comes, Industry 4 is going to bring tremendous, Industrial Revolution 4 is going to bring tremendous change, but we are ready mentally. This pandemic, it has done a lot of terrible things, but one good thing they have done is they have woken up the resilience, the power of adaptability, the power of getting into unknown and finding solutions. Now, those are the things which we need to be very proud of, and we need to congratulate ourselves and say that, okay, this is what this is what we are, and we can move forward. Going forward, so just to talk about what Industrial Revolution 4 is. So I talked about what 3 are. The revolution is powered by cloud, social, mobile, Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence, along with increasing computing power and data. I think there is one more word which needs to be added, that is network. 5G is coming and all that is coming. See, what is happening is that these are all in isolation look very simple things, cloud, social, and I have seen the agenda. It's a tremendous, very well thought out agenda. So you will be hearing a lot about these technology and how they can help HR to reduce that 80% of time to 20%, and you have 80% of time to do the real HR job, right? Some of the other technologies which are not in the list are blockchain, which is going to make a big difference, virtual reality. Like today, just to share with you what virtual reality can do. I was in JLR a couple of years back, and they have a studio. In that studio, they said you go in, whichever model I'm talking about, the virtual car looking like a 3D complete car is there. You enter there and then you can feel how the car will feel from inside, how it will feel when it is running and all. So all that you can do virtually. Now these are changes which are going to change the way business happens. Did we ever think that by click of button we'll be able to buy a car sitting in home? It's happening today, right? So a lot of changes are happening and they are all getting enabled by some one of these technology or a combination of these technologies. Blockchain is another one which is starting to come now. It is going to give us a lot of help in managing employee data, keeping all the compliances in mind. So there are disruptive technologies which are changing the landscape of business and so the landscape of HR. Now I just wanted to quickly walk you through one industry which potentially I understand a little better in terms of how these technologies have changed that particular industry. because you need to map your own industry in that way, how it is changing. And that's what will help you plan your HR strategies going forward. So here, if you see, first we look at product transformation with those technologies. So today, you must have heard autonomous driving, connected car, shared mobility. We talked about Ola, Uber, electrification is coming. So some of the auto professionals, they say that auto industry will see far more changes in next 5 years than it has seen in last 50 years. That's the level of change which this industry is going to see. And if you see here, your car today is changing in a big way by using the technologies which are coming through Industrial Revolution 4, and they are totally different products. Some people say it's a moving computer, some people say something else. Just to give you an idea, when we started in automotive, the electronics and software was about 5% of the cost. Today, easily it is 35 to 55% depending on the type of car and the features we are talking about. What does that mean? People who design car, earlier the software engineers and the embedded engineers and the electronics engineers which were required, that was very small. But today automotive industry is going to need large number of these engineers focused on developing cars. And interestingly, just to share with you, in engineering by 2030 in India, the talent gap will be about 40%, 42% to be precise, as per data which is available now. And what does that indicate is that there is going to be tremendous challenge as far as talent is concerned. And I think last year alone in digital, you must have experienced the kind of attrition, the kind of retention effort, and the difficulty in which you get. In my life, I never saw that a job from Tata is being given and the dropout rate is 80% in certain technologies. This is all real. It's happening because there is not enough talent. And the thing is that if the pond stays the same, then from where you will get talent? You will have this problem. So HR will have a tremendous responsibility of managing this talent crunch by adding to the pool. And so the training, personalized training, I saw EduTech and others are there. There is going to be tremendous role of these guys in the whole thing which will come. So that's about product. Quickly looking at the whole business transformation. So you see here on the product side today, the car kind of complex products are completely done on the you can say computer. We can do crash testing, we can feel the product what it is, we can, and earlier it used to be that we need to produce at least 300 cars to test and final and then launch, and still there will be problems. Today with the computer help, we are able to simulate cars completely, and we are able to only make 70-75 models for actual testing after 80-90% of the testing has been done in computer. As a result of that, what has happened? Earlier a car development used to take 5 years, 4 years, now it is taking 18 months. There are companies we give challenge, do it in 18 months. We are doing 3 cars for a Vietnamese company today. The timeline is 18 months. And they are all cars which are going to go to developed countries, not that they are just going to. So the technology to do product development has changed. There is another concept which I want you to share with you is digital twin. So digital twin is what physical world is there, but computers have capability to exactly create that world on computer also. And as a result, what you want to see in the physical world, you can test it out in computer before, so that lot of problems which you would have faced in physical world, you would have already kind of forecasted them, looked at them, and then do the other thing. That is digital twin, which is getting used everywhere. People talk about fusion of physical and digital world and all that. But the important thing is it's a very, very powerful concept which is going to change industry in a big way. Coming to manufacturing, industry 4 is there. Everybody talks about it. Sales and marketing, I talked about AR, VR, which is going to change the way cars are sold. And same thing is with other industry. Click to buy is available, predictive analytics and AI is going to do things. Supply chain is changing in a big way. E-commerce is really revolutionizing the supply chain. It's very difficult to think how they are managing it, but a lot of things are happening, and behind this is actually a lot of AI, lot of data crunching, and then you are able to get it. And then lean, etc. After sales service, it was like, okay, you keep calling the service guy and he never turns up. Now things are changing, and on your mobile, the car will tell that I'm getting bad in this area. This thing is not working, my tire pressure is less, or the clutch needs a relook or something. And then it also tell you that where is the nearest after sales service outlet, and then you go and get it done. So things are changing. And so is the business model. And then other thing is, car used to be sold from dealers. Now the change is taking place that car is getting sold, many times is getting sold, but they are also adopting the shared mobility model, where the car manufacturers themselves are going ahead with a different kind of world. So that's the kind of transformer. And try to map that with all these changes, will HR not change? HR need to change. We need to reimagine ourselves. We need to do something very different in the thing. I like Leena Nayar's quote, which is very well put. The digital revolution is a human revolution, while the new technologies are what driving the fourth industrial revolution. Ultimately, it is people who will bring it to life in business. Okay, so then this is something which is a statistic which talks about how talent profile is changing. I talked about 40% gap. I think one point which I want to make is gig economy. So in India today also there are 77 lakh roughly people, but by 2030 it's going to be 2.35 crore. And that means that work will happen, but not necessarily in the boundaries of your office, but work will have boundary. And that's what you need to manage. And that is again a big challenge which is going to be seen by the people from. Now, why do we need to change? So just to bring whatever I talked about in one place. So tasks are disrupting. Here what I mean is, there is a statistics that 71% used to be labor and rest was technology. It has come down in 2022 to 58%. That means more and more automation is coming in the work. And so we need to really look at, and of course newer tasks are coming. The skills of future are there, so there will be a tremendous change to be done for reskilling, upskilling people. Where do you send the people who are not having the new technology knowledge? So there will be tremendous responsibility on HR to take them along. New business model. This is where I keep saying that you need to understand the business environment and context. Then only you can support what the business leaders are talking about and looking for. And that's why that is an important area to change. Distributed workforce. So we experienced it during pandemic, but that was, you can say, the employees working from different places. They are still working from different places, but then there will be dimension of gig workers coming, some other people coming. It will become more of a project-based kind of teams which will get formed, and then they need to be taken along and delivered. Changing demographies. So everybody talks about diversity, inclusion, and the manpower which we will be seeing. Like, I'll give you one example. When I did the engine plant in Jamshedpur Tata Motor, that time 100% people on the shop floor were men. Recently, when I visited the same place, 100% of the engine assembly was getting managed by ladies. That's the kind of change. Everywhere in most of the assembly line, ladies are there, people with special abilities are there, and people say that if we properly integrate these guys into our system, we will be able to have better profitability, better stability in manpower, and also be doing the right thing from a society perspective. And new societal expectation. Yeah, I'll just. So there are 6 imperatives where HR need to think about. Develop leadership. Today the businesses are getting constrained because leaders are not there to manage this new situation. Enhancing employee experience, building an agile and personalized learning culture, embedding diversity and inclusion. This is not about compliance, it's more about making them part of integrated stuff. Establishing matrices so that we can measure our progress, and managing the integration with technology, because automation is coming, but we have to ensure people have alternative jobs. Newer jobs are getting created while some of the jobs are being taken over by machines. So there is, on all these 6, HR leaders need to think. We all need to think and find our place to do things. Finally, 6 are there, but the summary point from my side is Industrial Revolution 4 is disrupting business models, technology, and people expectation. For strong partnership with business, understanding of business environment and context is critical. If we don't do it, we will become obsolete. Business leaders won't talk to us. That's very clear. HR need to use right mix of technology for insight, experience, and automation, and focus on changing talent expectation and changing work boundaries, building right culture for driving business success. As Einstein said, the human spirit must prevail over technology, and I think that's going to stay if we want to be successful. With these words, thank you very much for listening to me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
First of all, sir, I think it was very, very nice, and thank you for spending time with us. My name is 𝗕𝗲𝗄𝗏 and I'm from IBM. One of the biggest challenges I think we are facing right now, and it was there on one of your slides, which said 73% of the people don't think that tech can change the human mind. So what are a few things that you would advise from where you stand today in terms of how we can do that mind shift and create that momentum?
I think that's a great question. You know, while I talked about agility and adoption in human mind, but then we have a large number of people who have never seen change. And as a result of that, they will think that way. And the only way we can bring the change and shift, because see, one of the things is people don't want to admit that there is a change and it can cause problem for me. And most important job of us is that technology is coming. You can't help it. Better to understand it, accept it, and find what is the next alternative job for you. And we will help you to get there. Unless we have this through communication, through talks, and through counseling, we are not going to change that. And that's one of the hardest job which is going to be there. I can also say that today most of the businesses are getting constrained because they are using a lot of technology, but no leaders to manage technology. And that's where, you know, we need first those leaders. We need to identify people who can change and who can talk about that change with positivity. And then those leaders need to become nucleus. The other thing is we need to find people in every levels who can be quick adopters, and then we invest in them and they become the change agents in the respective places. But there is no easy answer, I'll say. We all need to do what we need to do. But most important is to understand that this is a big change, and we need to really understand from an HR perspective that our roles are changing, our expectations are going to change, and we really need to move fast. Thank you.
Thank you.